Welcome ladies and gents to CT Spotlight number 9, and this is of course JW of Fnatic, and their defense is feared. Their CT size unrivaled, some would say, and at JW, he plays an integral part in that. So today we are going to be looking at his performance against LDLC in the Fragbite Grand Finals on Inferno. Kicking things off, I had to throw in the pistol round. I mean, sure, this round, it's going to be a 4-man stack from Fnatic, and they, to be honest, they get lucky. They get the they get a very well-received rush, and JW is going to be the one to pick up the pistol ace. So, you know, usually one to be known for his AWP shenanigans, and we'll see plenty of that, I assure you, in this video. But for now, we're just going to warm ourselves up with a nice little pistol ace, and this is just all about execution. And as I said, you know, just a bit lucky for Fnatic that their stack did work out as intended, and not much more to say about it other than that. But as we see JW about to pick up the 5th and final kill here, sorry, spoilers. It's going to be one of the interesting things about Fnatic is generally, from what I've looked at on their CT size, is just how consistent they are in general. JW is more or less their almost random element. The rest of the team plays very consistently, and they don't really tend to take any big risks. JW tends to be their risk taker, and he is also a guy that does communicate his risks very effectively to his team, so they always know what he's up to. And this is very important, especially for someone who does the things that JW likes to do. He thrives in the chaos. That's where he wants to thrust himself, and he is always going to make sure his team is ready for that as well. So this is, of course, follow-up round after the pistol, and he's not bought himself anything but CZ and some armor and so on, just because he's saving for the AWP, trying to keep some money in the bank. And of course, in comes the push. He's just playing quad here behind the smoke, and this is a bit of an aggressive risk here, going through the smoke. And the idea there is that because they smoke quad off, they won't be looking at quad just as far as drawn from CT arch. That gives him a very nice window to peek out and get a couple frags. So nice play there. Moving into the next round, we see him picking up the AWP as planned. And first of all, banana. Quick double frag there from him. And of course, standard stuff coming in. It's very nice that he was able to pick up the double. Goes down to 20 points of health now. And as that smoke goes down, the assumption is going to be that they're going to back away, especially as we're not seeing them rush through the smoke, and the fact that there is a guaranteed re-smoke. After JW is able to drop that, he can rotate and be replaced by the floating player, and this is always very, very nice to always keep moving. Especially if you get smoked off with an AWP, you might as well swap positions, because now we can see a different angle taken by JW. You can use a rifle to do this, but of course with a great AWP, it's going to be much more effective to put him on that angle and be surprising as well to the opponents. So now, as they know that the money isn't super great from LDLC, maybe some reads, JW feels very loose right now. He can move up through to boiler without worrying about someone trying to pick him across middle, so he got his 3 angles on middle. And this is something that you should definitely consider if you really feel like the opposing team doesn't have an AWP, or they fear the fact that you have an AWP. Gives you a lot of freedom to move. He did die in that spot, and we're going to see him actually taking a different angle yet again. So just the 3rd time in a row, there is no way for them to really predict exactly where JW is going to be. He's got support in their bedroom from Pronax, who can also look forward or through the little boards there on the hole in the wall through to this balcony angle to support him. Unfortunately for JW, he gets the leg, and Pronax turned his attention towards balcony to help, and that was the wrong moment as MBK comes in from the side, but never mind. So far we've seen 3 different risks taken from JW. Not always going to go according to plan. That's part of the nature of what he does, and we already see that his team is very, very good at supporting him. Again, you know, able to just effectively take a bit of a peek there from quad as they push their way up, and this is now it. JW, he's going to go for the re-peaks. Now, there's always an argument to be made to fall back to another choke point, and keep them moving into angles against you and playing passively with grenades and with your teammates. JW, though, is a player that doesn't appreciate or well, it's not that he doesn't appreciate these kinds of plays. He just favors and feels more comfortable in taking the risks, and that is his role within the team, is to mix things up and use his skill to its maximum potential, and that is often to go for the repeaks, to even play out of the meta, which would be, let's say, the optimal or safe play expected would be to fall back. However, there's going to be spots where he takes the big gambles, and it's supposed to be for a big risk that has a big reward. A big risk should never really be taken unless there is anything but a big reward. If it's a small reward, then you should really go with the optimal play. But so far we're seeing the big rewards coming in from JW's moves. If he's able to take down 2 players at the start of a rush, then that's really helpful and that's really effective. And if he does go down, he's still done more than enough damage for his teammates to pick up the pieces afterwards. So now we can see a much more defensive play from Fnatic as JW plays in the site with the AWP. And this is, of course, again, a very unexpected angle. And with the support there, he is going to be able to just barely be able to... I think he actually only took down 1 player there, but either way, it doesn't matter. His teammates are able to put the wrap around. And that was just a much more defensive round overall from Fnatic, showing that they can throw those in the bag. And JW showing the ability to adapt to the defensive strategies that Pronax may call in any given moment, and instead that time they allowed LDLC to move into some positions and decided to react further back. So now we're going to see JW making his way back onto the middle peak with the AWP, and still not challenged by anybody. You can see Smiths is there with the smoke, gonna throw himself through, and that's gonna be a big tell. They're gonna go for the rush now. So JW backs away onto quad. He has his teammates smoke off middle, after JW took the shot, made the call, and the flash was seen, and the smoke is instantly down for Fnatic. So LDLC can't exactly pressure or push up very easily now. So a reposition from JW from the middle peak onto the quad angle. So still, with aggressive potential, but now in a reactive state, letting his teammates information as well as their positioning kind of guide what he does, and just waiting for the shots. And sometimes you don't have to move. Sometimes you don't. You can just be patient, and that's what we saw there. But now we're going to see the fragging coming alive for JW as they start challenging up middle. And you can see he keeps going for the repeaks. And again, another aggressive move. Didn't have to go for that. Could have just held the angle. There's nothing wrong with that. But instead, this is part of what makes JW JW. And we're going to see once again aggressive position now on Banana. Keeps the pace high and going to be making a few frags here, and he's committing himself completely. Like, there was a flash thrown over. He could have used that flash to get out of the position. He uses instead the flash for aggressive reasons, so it's a stylistic choice there, and keeps on fragging because he knows he can hit the shots. Even if he goes down, he knows that his teammates are going to be able to support him. So because of that, it encourages him to take these moves, because he knows that even if the gamble doesn't pay off, he can rest well in the knowledge that, okay, it's not all on my shoulders. The burden isn't all on me. My teammates are on board with this, and they can support and they can hold it down, even if I come out with nothing from that play. So once again, we're looking at it's round 28 here with another aggressive, look down middle, and JW is able to just scan all these angles. So far, I'm not really seeing much resistance, and after a time, he's going to back away. And this is, of course, really nice because after the initial timings, if there's no challenges, that forward position you can be quite surprised with sudden flashes. The opponents can be very close from second mid, even boosted into the apartments. So you got to be very careful after the first 10-15 seconds have passed, and the terrorists have gained some position on the map. And we do see his aggression kind of taper off a little bit after the early timing has gone away. But now, having seen very limited resistance, and he's confident to keep the aggression high. There's no real support for him. That's something to remember at the moment. But he's still decided that he's going to be aggressive. And of course, there's going to be lots of information from his teammates now, and that's going to encourage him to push all the way down to go for the flank. Again, aggressive moves, but his position kind of demanded that he make this play, and we're going to see that he will go down, not ready for someone holding the flank. And there you go. So JW will fall there as well. So far we're seeing just generally very good standard plays coming out from JW. He's not really, you know, messing around all that much, and he's taking the gambles when he has support. He's mixing things up, he's keeping himself unpredictable, and generally he's hitting the shots, and Fnatic's defenses are just holding very effectively. They're just executing very well overall. So now into the next round. JW still with the AWP in his hands. Going to go for the aggressive peek on middle. And in this match, we haven't really seen much aggression on middle. So he's actually going to go across straight away for the balcony peek. An aggressive move. We're going to see that it's going to get peeked and his position given away. So again, these aggressive moves don't always work out. Finally, they go for the challenge. They've given JW a huge amount of respect so far, and that's allowed him to have that liberty of movement. And he got punished finally for it by LDLC. But we're going to move into the next round again, and JW on quad again. Much more defensive opening from him, just not really trying to abuse the timings of any spawns, but instead just keeping things a little bit more unpredictable. Again, they've mixed up the setup, and this time he's actually doing apartments from a different position. Instead of being aggressive at all, he's actually just kind of very defensive, basically doing the standard apartments position, and they have a standard rifle setup, quad and arch, and this is not something that they've shown him before, and just whiffing the shot there, unable to find the connection. But at the same time, you know, now we're seeing the potential for a defensive posture from JW, taking again another defensive angle, just falling back. And we talked before about taking the aggressive decision, Here we're seeing JW is taking the defensive and then the defensive decision. So they are applying an entire ethos to the way that they're playing certain rounds, and all the decisions kind of make sense with one another. And of course, in doing so, are remaining very unpredictable. But there you go, guys. That's it for this video. It's a bit of a highlight reel as well from JW in that one match, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.